a dream company of all the students, Google. That's where Siddhesh landed from a tier 3 college.
with a banging stipend of 1.35 lakhs per month.
So, how did you do it?
And how you can do it too, we are gonna cover everything.
Since Google has already started its hiring process for batch 2026,
You can find the link in the description section and please do apply.
so without wasting any time, I am Madhav.
I am Tanishk
And
and
let's
let's
get
get started. Hey Siddhesh, welcome to the podcast. Super excited to have you here today. So let's kick things off with a quick introduction. Tell us about yourself, your branch, your college.
So, hi everyone. My name is Siddhesh Patil, and I am currently fourth year student at Pimpri Chinchwad College of Engineering, Pune. I am currently interning as software engineer intern at Google. That's it.
Yeah, so what
Nice.
kind of conversation that you had when you received your first call from Google?
So, I had applied in June, around mid June, and I got the call. Basically, it was an email which I got in mid August, and it basically told that they wanted an initial discussion to get to know me, and also provided some resources which like best practices for coding interviews and stuff. And that was it. So they contacted me, and I got ready for the initial discussion. That was the telephonic round for the interview Google process.
Okay. So can you also tell us like how you were first shortlisted for Google interview process? Like, did you apply? Did you directly get a call from Google? Like, what was the process?
So Google has the internship program, which they run every year. And basically, in my year, it was the application was released on the career page around mid June. So I saw the application and prepared for it. Like I took a resume from an employee on LinkedIn. I also so I was not that prepared because I thought it might take some time for the application to be released on the career page, because the internship is in next year and they release it 1 year before. So I was not prepared at all. So for the resume, I prepared my resume to apply, for which yeah. So I some senior suggested me some changes. I made it, and in 4 to 5 days I applied. And for a long time they didn't contact. Many people were getting acceptance or rejection. I didn't get anything. So that was that period I waited for a long time. Then suddenly, uh, in mid-August, I was giving a Codeship contest at night, 8 around 8, and I got the email. I just closed the contest and asked seniors for help. What should I do next? And prepared for the telephonic round.
For students like who want to apply for Google, so when like you are getting into third year, so before 1 year, I think you mentioned ki
Yes.
Google summer internship program starts. So students have to apply from their like second year, right? Second year, second semester. If they want to enroll for this summer internships, they can apply it by the end of the second year.
So uh, their second year might have ended just, and it might be
Mhm.
the vacation period before the starting of the third year. That
Okay,
is the timeline.
okay.
So, Siddesh, has Google started taking internship applications for 2026 batch?
So generally, for interns, the Google posts the internship application on the careers page around June, July, and for the 2026 batch, it has already started. It started from like 10th July. Candidates should apply and give their best for the internship opportunity.
So, all the best candidates. Please go ahead and apply, and wishing you all the luck from all three of us.
Yes.
So, Siddhesh, let's jump into the other section, that is offer detail and benefits. So, we have heard that Google gives 1.35 LPF stipend to interns. Apart from that, what other benefits or perks did you get?
Apart from the stipend, they also cover the relocation bonuses. So if you're moving into a new state, which is like 60 kilometers away from where you were living before. They will pay for the relocation and also the housing stipend. We also have transportation benefit from the company. So we get transportation cabs are arranged for all the week for all the days in the week. Besides this, there is the Google Office which provides good food 4 times a day almost, and also there is micro kitchen on every floor, which gives you which is filled with snacks, fruits, drinks, uh, cold drink and stuff. Besides this, there is also mentorship program. Each intern is assigned a mentor which they can talk to about their future, their current progress in internship and stuff. They can help learn and guide the intern. So this is the thing. This is all which we get as a benefit as a Google intern.
Okay.
Looks like Google offer some cool perks.
Yes. Okay.
So the very first thing that Google does is a phone screen round. So how was it for you?
So the round was itself for like 15 to 20 minutes. They asked me when I will be free and scheduled the round. And it was a very basic discussion, which the recruiter basically checked my resume, did some checks like they opened my coding profile and basically cross-checked if the resume was correct, and also asked some basic questions like how would you rate yourself in DSA, when you see a new problem, how do you approach it, some basic questions. Actually, I prepared a lot for this because I thought they'll ask some technical questions too, but if you have mentioned correct things in your resume which apply to you, then you don't have to worry much about this round. It will be just a basic discussion with the recruiter, which they will check that this candidate is good enough for the interviews.
Okay. And we also heard that if you don't clear the phone screen round, you are blocked from applying again. So is that true?
So if they find anything wrong mentioned, I think they'll never consider your application again. But if you do not clear it, if they think you're not good enough, there is like a cool down period for like 6 months to 1 year, in which your application for similar roles won't be considered. Like if I applied for intern, my application for full time won't be considered for 6 months and stuff.
Okay. So there is a cool down period of 6 months.
Yes.
So there are a lot of rumors that are there in the market. So just we wanted to bust them all in this podcast. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, how many questions were asked in the phone screen round? Like you said, it was for 20 to 25 minutes. So, how many questions were asked, and was the time sufficient to solve them, like just verbally?
So it was not an official round as per, and if they needed more time, it could be extended also. And it was more like a discussion, getting to know the candidate, what they have done, and if they are good enough for the interviews round. So for me, they asked like 4 to 5 questions, which were, like I mentioned, that type of questions, and did a background check, my CGPA, coding profiles, and the stuff I mentioned in resume. They checked that.
Got it.
Okay. Now moving to the technical rounds. So how many technical round did you go through?
So after the telephonic round, there are 2 technical rounds,
Okay.
which are knockout round types. Means if you don't clear the first, you won't get the second round. So both the rounds are same. There are 45-minute rounds with DSA questions in it, and yeah. So in that round, basically the pattern is they'll ask you 2 DSA questions or 1 DSA question with 2 follow-up, something like that, and you have to complete the entire round in 45 minutes. It won't be extended like in the telephonic round.
Okay. So mostly it was DSA focused, or there were CS fundamentals or other project related questions for us?
I was asked to introduce about my projects, but that lasted like for 2 to 3 minutes. Rest of the round was entire DSA focused round.
Okay. Okay. So, as you mentioned, ki your round was DSA focused. First, they like asked two DSA medium level lead code questions or one DSA question and 2 to 3 follow-ups. So, how did you split your time between thinking through the algorithm and actually coding it?
So I hadn't planned some fixed time for uh, thinking and solving the coding question, but I just went with the flow. But what happened in the interview was I was given the problem, and I I asked some clarifying questions to the about the problem. While that was happening, I was thinking about the approach which I could basic approach which I could say which will solve the problem. And after saying the basic approach and the explaining how will I solve it, I also told them about the best approach. This thing lasted for like 10 to 15 minutes, and then the rest of the interview was coding, testing, and ask if they have any questions, follow-up questions.
Okay.
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 So I also prepared all the topics from DSA, graph, DP trees. But in my first interview, I was asked a simple array question. It wasn't that complicated. It was very similar to the consecutive one in an array, number of consecutive ones in an array. It
Hmm.
was simpler one, but it had some follow-ups and a storyline to it. They checked my coding style, means if I follow the good practices in coding, and also if I follow the OOP principles while writing code. So they also checked in the first round.
Okay. I've also heard ki when you code for Google, they ask you to code on Google Docs, and then after your code is completed, they ask you to paste it on editor and then run, and depending upon that, they evaluate like what will be your result. So how true is that?
So yes, we have to code on a platform similar to Google Docs. They have made it specifically for interviews, but it uses Google Docs behind the scene, and they don't tell you to run the code. They just evaluate from seeing it. They basically see the code and figure out the mistakes you are making. They don't ask you to run it. Maybe they might run it after the interview is over, but during the interview they don't run it. The things I followed for the interview was uh, uh, explain your approaches, both start from basic approach, build to the optimal approach, uh, clarify questions which you get, and basically you want to solve the problem they gave and not the problem you think of. So clarify the problem statement first of all, and then explain your approaches, uh, code, and while coding, all, explain what you are writing, so they get to know what you are doing and can help you also. So interview is mostly think of the interview as a discussion, then it will be less and anxiety. You will get less anxiety while interviewing.
Right.
And after the coding, check for the test cases. If there are any edge cases, mention it. Mention the time complexity, space complexity. So these are a few things which you have to uh, keep in mind during the interview.
So let's go into the second round now. So what kind of questions was asked in the second round, and how was the difficulty level compared to the first one?
So this round, actually, it got rescheduled 1 or 2 times. So when I was again, when the round happened, I was also thinking like this might get rescheduled again, but it happened, and the interviewer basically asked me to introduce myself first and then gave me a question. But this time the question was bit difficult. I think it was on the difficult side, and it was geometry based. Means I was given a coordinate plane, and I had to answer something, write a code which finds something on the plane, coordinate plane. So this time, like the first interview, I didn't get the correct approach in the like quickly. So this was a bit difficult. I had to basically stall for thinking. So what I did was I didn't stay quiet while I was thinking. I was explaining my approaches, observations which I had made about the question. And after thinking for like 10 minutes, giving a basic approach in that 10 minutes, I got the best solution. And then after I explained the best solution, they asked me to code it. And uh, after coding took some 10 to 20 minutes. And mostly the interview was done. So they only asked one question. And after each interview, they ask you if you have any question for them. So I asked one of the questions, and the interview concluded on this note.
Wow. So that feels that you always, so there's one learning from here is you don't be silent and just keep saying what you're thinking. Okay.
Like you can ask for 1 minute, can I get 1 minute to think? But you can't stay silent for like 5 minutes. That would be bad.
Correct, correct. So Siddhesh, were there any follow-up questions that required you to change your approach?
So in first round, I was asked a follow-up question, and I had to change few few things in my class structure which I had defined for that code. In second round, there were no follow-up questions. Mostly, the interviewers ask a follow-up question. If there is only one question which is being asked to you in the interview, then most probably it will be followed with a follow-up question, and they will check if you can answer it or not.
Right.
So you must consider candidates must consider about it also, that there will be follow-up questions, so they should complete the coding part before 30 minutes, so we have enough time for follow-up questions.
Okay. Nice. Nice to know. So let's jump into the other section, that is the post-interview and offer stage. So for software developers, we have heard at Google there is some team matching and team fit process in which they send your resume across multiple teams and check like where you fit in. So was it conducted in your case?
So I actually don't know about if there is a team matching round for interns. My interviews concluded around the end of the September, and I got the selection mail start of the November. So they took quite a time, but some interns also got their offers in like 2 weeks. So there I don't know about the team matching for interns, but it is for full-time employees. They have a team matching round.
Got
Um,
it.
So let's jump into the preparation and advice section. So what kind of preparation did you do specifically for the Google interview process?
So the preparation which helped me clear the interviews was the consistently which problems which I solved from my second year gave contest. That really helped me because I was used to solving new questions, and I was not that much afraid of what might be asked in the Google interview. And specifically before interviews, I tried solving the uh, take you forward A to Z DSA sheet. So I tried to get acquainted with the standard DSA problems. So if they might get asked, I can answer it well. So that I tried, and I just basically go through all the standard DSA questions that might be there. So I will be well prepared in the interview. Nothing else. I did nothing else.
Okay.
Right.
So what platforms did you use for DSA preparation?
So I have been coding on Codeforces and CodeChef since my second year, and I have like 1,000+ problems solved on Codeforces. So I really like that platform, and I would recommend anyone who want to practice DSA. I think it really opens up your brain for the logical thinking, problem solving part. And after that, even if I open the lead code problems, they seem very trivial. And basically, I didn't do much lead code after that. Just gave few contests and looked up the standard problems there might be.
Mhm.
That's how I prepared.
Okay.
Okay.
So most of the questions are from those standard sheets or resources online. But in my second round, like I said, it was I got a completely new question which was geometry based. I don't think there is any question like that online. But for first round, it was from standard sheet DSA sheet question. But from second round, it was a new question. So my efforts for uh, first and second year which I did solving new questions helped me in that interview.
True, but Google doesn't ask the standard questions. They ask the questions which are like more focused towards logical thinking. They don't ask the standard questions. So if you are coding on the platforms like Codeforces and CodeChef, that helps you a lot instead of like covering the standard questions.
Hmm.
It is kind of true, like doing code forces will help you more than doing lead code, but there are interns which I met who did only lead code and still cleared. uh, for interns, I have noticed that the questions are fairly standard, but you might get some new questions which might test your problem solving skills in a way differently than standard questions do.
Hmm.
So doing code forces contest will help, but it is you don't have to force yourself to do that if you don't like it. Doing lead code questions uh, will uh, will be enough too.
Okay.
Okay. And what language did you use for DSA?
So for DSA, I coded in C++, and I also recommend doing it in C++, because C++ has variety of data structures supported in the standard library itself. So it becomes very easy.
Okay.
One more thing I just wanted to ask. Ki, we have heard that Google gives only 45-minute per round, and it is very like speed critical. So it is not just like solving the problem, it's about solving it fast. So how did you practice like solving, like thinking and solving the problem in 30 minutes and then be ready for some follow-up questions? Like how did you prepare for it?
So this was one of my concerns before giving the interview. Like I will only get 45 minutes. How how can I tell my approach and code also? So for
Hmm.
this, I gave some mock interviews which my seniors conducted. I practiced through mock interviews, and that's why I also look through the standard questions. So if the question gets repeated, I can code it up, tell my approach quickly. So that's what I did to prepare for this.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Siddhesh, we have also heard that Google can offer like flexibility in scheduling rounds based on your readiness. So, like giving you 1 2 months of preparation time if you need. So, did you experience that?
I don't think it is for interns because they have quite a lot of applications to go through,
Hmm.
and interns are supposed to be prepared. Means they might give you 1 or 2 weeks, but not for months. For full time, they give you 1 to 2 months because some might be out of the interview preparation phase. So you might want to prepare for interviews. So for full time, they give you 1 to 2 months. But for interns, I don't think it is the case.
Okay.
Let's talk about resume building a little. So how did you build your resume, and like what was the process behind it?
So, for the resume to get shortlisted in Google, first of all, you should mention the basic info about you, like which college you are studying, which degree it is, uh, what courses you have done, and what projects you have done. If there is any previous experience, you should mention it. Apart from that, you should also mention something which makes you stand out. Like if you are won many hackathons, you should mention it and try to show your best side. Like in my case, I had solved a lot of DSA questions, participated in contests. So I mentioned my ranks, my rating, and also that I participated in this competition. So that helps to get shortlisted, basically. That I would suggest anyone. Show your best side, what you have been doing, and let the recruiter Google know that you are good enough for the company.
So now as you are like working with Google, what is the tech stack you're working on? How is the work culture there? Like, can you give us some Google insights?
So in Google, mostly the Go, Python, Java languages are used, and I'm working in the Go language, and I have to write an automation script for Google's distributed cloud team. So that is what I'm working on. Besides Go, uh, I have also work in Python and some Google specific tools they have developed, which I have to use. So that is what I'm working on currently.
Okay. So for students who are currently preparing and are nervous, is there any advice that you would like to give them?
First of all, they should prepare their resume well so that they get shortlisted. They should make it ATS friendly and try to show their best sides. And for interviews, they should focus on DSA. Try to go through all the standard questions, give some mock interviews so that they don't get nervous in interviews, and practice the interview process well. That is what I recommend. Solve DSA questions for the interviews.
Okay. So Siddhesh, since you have done a lot of competitive coding, so can you just give a preparation plan for students who are currently starting competitive?
So I did competitive programming for 1 year, and it really helped me clear my Google interviews. For someone who is new to competitive programming, I would suggest them to give it at least 3 months, because if you are doing it for 1 month, then you may feel like you haven't done any progress and you'll quit. But it's the build up to the things which will occur if you consistently do it. So I'll suggest sticking to it for at least 3 months. Solve questions on whichever platform you like. I'll suggest Code Forces mainly, and give regularly contests. So about contests, they are timed. You are timed, and you have to solve some amount of questions. This also help you for your coding test in whichever company you might get for coding test and for interviews. This also helps because you get acquainted with new questions. Give regularly contests, solve questions consistently. This would be my advice for anyone who is to start competitive programming.
Yeah, very well said.
So thanks, Siddhesh, for sharing this. It will be really helpful for students preparing for Google internships and aiming to crack the offer. So we hope that sometime soon you'll get the final Google offer in your hand, and wish you all the best for that.
Thank you. I had a great time here, and hope you all have a nice day.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So that was it. If you want us to cover any specific companies or have any specific questions, do let us know in that comment section.